I started playing guitar in high school, started joining bands, and after that, just kept on going. For whatever strange reason, I didn't, I didn't realize where that would take me. Of course, nobody really knows what the future is about. At least I don't. And from band to band, and eventually, meeting great musicians who taught me a lot and continue to, teach me a lot. And recording songs that I started writing pretty soon after I started playing guitar, but I just got more and more into songwriting a few years later. So it's starting more with guitar, then singing, and then songwriting. I figured, let me see if I can bring a few things together, musically and lyrically, in a way that hopefully passes on as much joy to others as I'm getting from the songs I listen to that I love.
A taste of love after taste of...
Down the road to play or choose the genre of pop or urban folk as you describe it on your website, that sound, what and how did you manage to do that and yet stay away from the conventions of those genres? Because you don't typically have that poppy, like lyrical content.
Yes, I actually started playing classical guitar as I was playing with bands. I figured, it'd be kind of a good thing to learn how to do this as from a different angle and see if I can add to the understanding of the instrument and the technique, which led me to really look into finger picking and playing, without the pick, practicing that way, learning pieces and music that I would not have necessarily been exposed to that much. So when I futz around with the guitar, I often, bring into it some of the finger work that I studied, and and also I would think some of the musical constructions and some of the melodies in here and there, not to say by any means that a lot of the classical learning is filtered through, but I would say that it makes for a mix that is, at least from what I hear it, different.
Hold on to me all through the night, every second with all you've got.
That's probably because of that mixture that may not be part of some of the musicians out there. And I also feel like I want to do something musically that I'm not afraid, if you will, or I certainly don't feel the boundaries of fitting in. I don't have a sense that, hey, I better be, right in the groove there, or wow, what is going to happen? So I will always be on the side of bringing together different things, different flavors. And it is hard to categorize things when you yourself don't feel like you are madly in love or attached to a category. So I don't even know how to name it other than sort of starting with words that people are used to. Mm-hmm. And hopefully it's not misleading them, What
is a key for you in crafting a good song?
I would say that immediately I have to feel like I have a musical theme that grabs me, and I put it through the test. So I would, I'll sit with my guitar for hours and sing along and futz around and play other songs that I love from people, or play pieces of music and veer off, and then along the way something will come up and I'll be, wow, hey, that's kind of interesting. So I'll tape it, I'll put it on a small voice recorder that I have lying around, and we'll see if it survives. If it doesn't leave me alone, the next time I pick up the guitar, I go to it, or it wakes me up and I go, like, I have to really listen to this. Then I will pursue that and see if it develops into something that can be married, to use the word with all the respect in the world, with lyrics or a lyrical theme that also piques my interest because of the imagery I can bring into it, or because it tells a story. And that's how I have a starting point. If I have those two things at the very beginning of them brought together in a way that I feel, hey, I want to hear more as to where this is going to go.
What's the best advice you've received about being a musician?
A DJ that I met, he said, if it sounds that good, why doesn't it sound better? And that wasn't about the most recent work I've done. It was early on, a few years back. And I thought, I better make sure things sound as best as I can make them.
Wide awake, counting craters on the moon.
I would assume then that later on, as you get more into the business, that you want to explore maybe doing an album that has a theme to it.
Together in my definition of a theme or musical approach to it, it's sort of a journey for you to go through as a listener. So if you start the record from song 1 to the last song 12 or 10 or perhaps even 15, you are going to go through different places in a different way and go from softer acoustic sounding tracks to a solo track to band tracks with different feels to them. And that's what I like. I have to say, from a musical standpoint, if I had to use a model or models, I have a few albums that I have enjoyed ever since I was made aware of them. But some of them are from the 70s and some of them are current records. I would say an album by Queen, the band Queen, called Jazz, has variety in it, tremendous variety from musical approaches, and the songs are very different from one another. Also, the first Billy Joel record, if I'm not mistaken, is that way as well. And it's probably around the same time in the history of music. I love what Eminem did in some of his records in terms of, again, the variety within the genre. As opposed to a more consistent sounding record, as it is equally enjoyable. I'm not, it's not like I don't like it. I think Katy Perry makes great records. I think live records can be really interesting in that respect, especially compilations of live takes, not necessarily just one concert.
What do you like about being indie?
It's the best path for me. It is true to my inspiration, true to what I love to listen to, and hopefully it will please quite a few other folks along the way, which is really the first dream I have. I can do and do just about anything I want. I don't, question whether it's going to attract bigger crowds, that, hey, it's going to add up people, and I'll get to the 20,000 New Yorkers who are going to come to the Garden, or tri-state area folks. I don't think that way. I just go with, as I explained, where the music takes me.
Are you afraid that there's not enough room for artists like yourselves who are scraping in there and trying to claw their way into getting on those playlists? Or do you think that it's the opposite, that the discovery of you is going to win people over?
The only thing I hope, and truly hope, is that because there is so much available, and because people have choices that are not forced upon them, right? Um, that may the best music rise to the top.
Yeah.
And if I can get there through work, uh, inspiration, whatever it takes, well then fantastic. If others beat me to it, if you will, or have the chance to gather more attention because their music is great, all the best, because I will benefit from it, right? And what I hope for is that I will have a song one day, if I don't have it already, that will just create a buzz, that people will say, hey, I just heard that. Have you heard that? That's really good.
Yeah.
Uh, and how far does it travel around the world, or whether it's through Facebook or some other meme? I don't know, but it will have to be on the strength of the music, and that's, to me, is fair. I'll take that. I'll take those odds. They're low odds, but they're less dependent on the mechanic of a business that I would definitely have no control over, and that I don't think audiences have control over.